to the queen side, which is exactly I was going to say where he's going to go right now.
Yeah, so Levy quickly runs that king over, and now queen b4 comes to mind. Can I just pick off your c4?
You need North.
All right, sorry guys. It took me a while to start this stream. I was trying to figure out how to get to just watch or pull up just the game live on chess.com. It was kind of difficult. James Canty lost the first round. And so how this is breaking down, it will be, first of all, I am the coach, Brian Wilson, or Killer B, as some might know me from other streaming or podcasts or whatever. I'm here in Detroit. We are backing our guy here locally from Detroit is National Master James Canty. He's playing International Master Levy Rozman, and this is his game here. James Canty is white in this position, I believe. Yeah, James Canty is white in this position. Lost the first game. And so how it's going to go is they're going to play 75 minutes worth of 5-minute time control games with 1 second increment. So the 75, once that 75 minutes is gone, then they will go to the next time control. That'll be 3 minutes plus 1 increment. And then it will be 25 minutes with 1 minute bullet plus 1 increment. So that's how this match is going right now. As we see James Canty with the white pieces here against Levy Rozman, International Master Levy Rozman. Okay, shout out to everybody that's joining us across all platforms, Facebook, also YouTube. Shout out to everybody out there that's watching, and also Twitch, watching on Twitch. Thank you for joining this stream as we watch James Canty with the white pieces. We are here sponsored by Wonderful Clothing Line. Wonderful Clothing Line. You can check out the gear that they have on bcwarts.com, bcwarts.com. And also, if you got children, we are having tournaments every Sunday starting at 12 p.m. every Sunday. Trophies will be sent to their home. So if you got children that's interested in playing chess or that are currently chess players, you can register for that tournament at MichiganJuniorChessArena.com. It's right there below us on the ticker. We also have a Martin Luther King Day tournament that's free on Monday. So you can participate in that on the 18th. And you can find out details for that at MichiganJuniorChessArena.com. MichiganJuniorChessArena.com is where you can subscribe for those tournaments. And we can just break it down. Let's get into the game here. We see James Canty has, hopefully you guys can see the time. James Canty has 1 minute and 36 seconds to Levy Rozman's 51 seconds. And James has this big space advantage here on C4 and D5. As I said earlier, James Canty loses the first game to Levy Rozman. This is the second game of the match. In the I'm Not a GM Speed Chess Championship, what that is it's players competing against each other that are not GMs. So you got international masters and below in this tournament. In this position, I think Black might be a little better in this position. You see the pawn structure difficulty for White. You see the move C3 played there. Pretty strong pass pawn here on C3. Oops. As he plays Rook C8 and the move D6 comes quickly. As Levy Rozman has 4 seconds left. 4 seconds left. James Canty, is his turn here. He has a minute left. Rook takes D6. Levy has 2 seconds. Rook to C6. Queen A7. You get a second increment, guys. Wow, look at that. Definitely white is winning because of the time advantage here. White is currently up a piece. Black is still playing here. See knight d7. Queen to d5, offering to trade. Maybe rook takes c3 is coming here. There it goes. Rook to e3. Levy Rozman is playing with this 1 second increment pretty well. Maybe bishop f6 here. Oh, okay. There was a resignation there. So James Canty wins that round and evens the score there at 1-1. Dina Siddharth Bandy. Love you too. Welcome to the live stream. This is National Master James Canty from the D. That's why we doing this stream. He's from the D. And we root for anybody from Detroit playing International Master Levy Rozman. I don't know where he's from, guys. Do you know where Levy Rozman is from? It's a little break here as they get ready to start the third game. Right now, the score is tied 1-1. 1-1. I'm gonna put up some a scoring ticker, so you guys can know what the score is at all times. Let me see here. Boom. So we're just gonna put up a score ticker here. Let's boom, let's do this. If you know where Rozman is from, let me know. Let me know. We're waiting for them to start the next game. Pull that up. Okay, Canty 1, Rozman 1. What is going on here as we wait for them to play another game? All right, here goes. Here's the next game here. We got a switch of colors, so that's what happened here. Switching colors here. And we have James Canty with the black pieces now, and Levy Rozman with the white pieces. Shout out to everybody that has joined us in our stream. I found out how to operate this now. So the Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube stream that we are doing is now open. As we see Levy Rozman versus James Canty here playing. I do not like James Canty's position here. You got this nice knight on g5. Definitely the best minor piece on the board. As Levy Rozman is thinking, he has 1:41 to James, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He plays b3 here. Material is even. And I see James is probably getting ready for the end game with the king on f6. That's what the plan was, but I definitely like that knight better than the bishop. As James is trying to open up that bishop by playing b5. Makes a lot of sense. Try to chip away at some of that pawn structure there. White does not want to allow b takes c4 and have to deal with that bad pawn structure. So he does go b takes, c takes b5, a takes b5. Now James does have to watch out for an outside passer with a4 as in-game insurance. As we see the move rook f3. I wonder if White is willing to trade bishop, knight for bishop at this point because of the outside passer on the board. Expect moves like king to b2. But I think James has enough to equalize this game, actually. I know White is probably for choice, but I don't believe that James is in any trouble here. All right, John Galvin, you in here. Welcome to the stream. And welcome everybody that's in the YouTube chat. Shout out to everybody's in YouTube. We have Twitch in here as well and Facebook in here as well. We're watching Detroit's very own National Master James Canty. He's playing International Master Levy Rozman. Don't know where Levy Rozman is. I gotta check that out. I mean, where he's from. Where's Levy Rozman from? But we're watching this position right now. Levy Rozman is white. James Canty is black. Now, the one thing I noticed that James is just constantly up in time and after the first 2 rounds. I believe this position is equal. I don't think there's an advantage either way. James has to watch this outside passer, but shouldn't be a problem because the outside passer that could be made on A4 would be it'll basically be a isolated pawn, so it shouldn't be able to move there. I'm trying to figure out, because I don't use chess.com that much, so the evaluation, I mean the lines that you can draw, I don't know how to do that. As you see, James Canty has 53 seconds. Levy Rozman has 14 seconds here in this endgame with 2 rooks on the board. Levy Rozman trying to put a lot of pressure on the backwards d6 pawn. But now that the king has come to protect, remember, the secret to playing against a backwards pawn is to keep the queen on the board, because that stops the opponent's king from having to participate in a defense, like James Canty's king is participating now on king e7. Imagine a queen still on the board. That would not be possible because of all the tactics of an unsafe king in the center. So this position is perfectly fine for James Canty as he reinforces the d6 pawn. Yeah, John. Rozman down in time again. But we'll see what James does. James did a wonderful job of conducting that time advantage the last time he played. 4 seconds for Levy Rozman to James has 3 seconds here. But I will say Levy Rozman does a good job down in time in that time scramble. See, James has 10 seconds here. There's a check here. Gotta watch it here. Maybe a check on b1. Okay, now it's very close. 2 seconds. James has 1 second. Has to move. He's escorting this pawn here. Levy, 2 seconds left. What about the? Oh, what's happening here? Levy Rozman wins the game. I'm guessing he wins on time. That was a big win there by Levy Rozman with only 2 seconds left in the game. And so Levy Rozman takes a 2-1 lead here. It seems like both players are winning with the white pieces. And now James Canty is going to get white the next game. Oh, no, I'm not an international master, John. No. I'm not IM. Nope. I haven't played tournament chess in a while. Kind of quit and started teaching the strong kids that were coming up, or my private students actually. So nope, didn't stay long enough to go there. All right, we're gonna go. Let's make sure we don't miss this next game here. Yeah, this one, okay. All right, the next game hasn't started yet. As we wait on the next round, I'll let you know of the sponsors here. We are sponsored by Wonderful Clothing Line. It's a black-owned clothing line, and it's very, very nice for you guys to support black business by checking the clothing line out at bcwarts.com, bcwarts.com. We also have tournaments every Sunday for the children at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out the registration for those tournaments is MichiganJuniorChessArena.com. It's a nationwide tournament, not only Michigan, but you can check out that tournament at the MichiganJuniorChessArena.com website. They play 5 games, and we also have a Martin Luther King tournament coming as well. But yes, they play 5 games on Sunday. It costs $15. We send trophies to your home. First, second, and third place overall. First, second, and third place K5. First, second, and third place K3 sections. So, a Ram Shankar, the difference between an IM and a National Master is International Master has to get International Master norms. That's the big difference there. They have to get norms to be, for you to be a so I'm just making sure that I'm not missing any of this here. Okay. Okay. I think we're okay. But yes, you have to get International Master norms in order to be an International Master. Now, what is a norm? A norm is when you have 3 good performances in a tournament where there is 5 International Masters from 5 different countries. So if you got that, you in that tournament, there's a tournament where there's 5 International Masters for 5 different countries, and you do a great job in that tournament, you get 1 norm. If you do that 2 more times, you are officially titled International Master as long as your rating is over 2,400. So that is the difference. In Europe, it's easier because Europe has those small countries where you can travel back and forth to a couple of miles, and it's easier to have a tournament where there's 5 different International Masters from 5 different countries because the countries are so close together and small. In the United States, it's harder because the countries are so big. You just got Mexico and Canada, and there's not many small countries to where you can get those 5, those requirements to be an International Master. So that is the difference. That is the difference. As we're waiting for the next game here, hopefully we're not. Chess.com has a weird setup here, how they're showing, they're letting us have access to these live games, but I believe we're okay. Okay, yeah, they are on a break, so we're just gonna let that roll. Yeah, Ram Shankar Canty's time is but actually he's been at, you know, if you look at game 2, Canty used his time very well. You see that game where he had about 23 seconds to the guy's 1 second. A lot of times when you're up in time, you try to make a fast move, hopefully to run so your opponent doesn't think on your time. But that is, you want to do the opposite of that. Taking about 3 to 4 seconds to make a strong move that might be finalizing if your opponent doesn't make an accurate move. So for instance, James Canty had mating threats and made sure he kept mating threats up there, or threats of winning material, so that way his opponent has to make the most accurate move or risk losing something further. So that's what you want to do when you're up in time. You want to take more time, and concentrate on the position to come up with the strongest move you can come up with, because that's the way your opponent is going to make mistakes, because their time advantage won't allow them to pick the most accurate move in that situation. Then again, I want to shout out the sponsors. This match is played on chess.com. Make sure you guys check out the World Junior Online Tournament number 6. World Junior Online Tournament number 6 is coming up this Sunday. The last winner of the World Junior Online Tournament was Het Patel, a junior from, I believe, Texas, that won first place in the World Junior Online Tournament. This is a kids-only tournament. We have and that tournament is every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. 12 p.m. Eastern Time is that tournament there. All right, I think we have our games. I'm just starting here. I think. Let's see. Here we go. And we're off. James Canty has the black pieces. And hopefully you guys can, all right, so you guys can see the time a little bit there. And this looks like a Carol Khan exchange, Carol Khan here, that Levy Rozman is playing. And this is something that I've been playing for years, the Carol Khan. Excuse me. Levy Rozman is thinking here about surrounding this d5 pawn here that James has here. Looks like he wants to play knight a6 to knight b4 or c7. This is a similar position to the Panov Botvinnik attack here, as a3 is played by James Canty, preventing knight b4, but allowing knight c7. B5 was played here. Now, if we go knight takes b5, I guess black is looking to go knight takes d5, maybe? No, can't do that right away. James does go knight takes b5. Oh, this is going to be very interesting here. What is the plan here? His plan is just to go bishop to b7, surrounding the d5 pawn. But you can't say that black is worse here. He plays a4. He's looking for some type of tactic here. Now, I definitely would not go queen takes a4 because the discovery is just not worth it, especially with my king in the center. So one thing that what's happening with James right now is his king is in the center. So you got to be careful for being too greedy when your development is so bad. So James is about 3 moves away from complete development, where black can completely develop with bishop to b7 now, and the development should make up for the pawn at this moment. As he plays bishop to b7, the imbalance on the board here is these isolated pawns. All right, so James now is... No, James played knight to c3, protecting the d5 pawn. I guess we should expect rook to c8 coming here. He can also play knight c7, just trying to surround the d5 pawn. Now, when you have these isolated d-pawns, you have to be very active. You know, that's what White's plan should be, is to be very, very active here. But the first thing White has to do is castle. And I'm thinking that maybe White might have to give the pawn back just to get the development going. But right now, the pawn is guarded really well. Queen on c4, knight on c3, bishop on f3. Even if you play knight c7, the pawn is still guarded really well. But it is 4 attackers there, and White is okay with giving that pawn back in a position like this. But Levy Rozman again is in the think tank. Now this is 5 minutes plus 1 second increment. They get 75 minutes total to play as many games as they can in that allotted time. So you look at James is almost going to double Levy's time again. So I don't know how much. Now Levy comes up with the move queen to b6. Why can't I play knight takes a4? I do not know. Knight takes a4 looks winning to me. That looks like a clear pawn attacking the queen. James missed knight takes a4 and makes a quick move. I don't actually like what James did there. He made a very fast move when I don't think he needed to do that. Knight takes a4. I think he should have definitely looked at that move. I do not like queen b6. Knight takes a4, I believe, was the best move in that position. I believe queen b6 was a mistake. I think that was a mistake there. Yeah, John, Canty felt the pressure, felt that he had to castle and played knight to e2. But then again, he had about 2-minute advantage in time. He should have looked at knight takes a4 in that position because there wasn't any. The knight is actually attacking the queen. Queen has to move. There's a tempo on the queen, and then that same tempo you're going to gain and be able to play knight e2. Right, I can't blame him either. But that knight takes a4, you know, sometimes you're looking for that knockout blow. I understand he wanted to castle as quickly as possible, but my thing is I would have definitely understood it more if he would have took another about 30 seconds and then play knight e2 because he doesn't like knight takes a4. But the fact that he played knight to e2 so quickly means that he didn't even look at knight takes a4, and that's my point. And guys, I know you guys can't see the engine like I can, but actually the engine says knight takes a4 is winning. That was a winning move for white. White is still has an advantage here, by the way. So it's not as it was before. As we see queen b3, and black is doing everything he can just to grab this pawn back. You an Indian giver. You gave it to us. We don't want to give it back. After queen b3, that looks like we might be forced to do that, or we probably should do that. I think this b3 pawn is going to be a weakness in the big scheme of things, actually. So after queen takes b3, a takes b3, moves like bishop to e3 and knight to c1, for example, just giving you examples of how that pawn on b3 could be surrounded. And maybe we could, James actually castles here. He actually castles. He allows queen takes a2. He's probably going to take back with the rook on a2. Now, Levy Rozman is down to 22 seconds here. 22 seconds. He plays queen c2. What? That doesn't look good at all. That looks terrible, the move that he just played there. And guess what? The engine also thinks it's a bad move. That queen c2 move doesn't look good at all. But you can't blame him because he's down in time. He only has 20 seconds left. All James has to do is play some solid moves. Bishop to e3 is what he played here. Knight to c7. Now he probably should play something like rook f to c1. Yes, definitely rook f to c1 or rook a to c1, attacking that queen. White is much better here. He plays knight f4. He has to g5 happens there. I don't know why he would play that. Maybe he plays rook f to c1 now. Would that be helpful for him? I'm not sure. Maybe he could play knight to h5 is his idea. I don't know why knight f4 was played by James. 6 seconds left. He has 58 seconds left, guys. And there's only, what, 6 seconds left. That's right, John. Knight a4 was the move there. Rook a to c1, hitting the queen here. Queen f5 is played. 3 seconds left for Levy Rozman. Knight to e2 is played here. Watch out for knight g3. He plays knight g3 instantly. Maybe bishop to e2. Good. h5 was played. Levy Rozman is playing pretty quickly here. Maybe rook to d1, threatening bishop to d3. Queen is running out of squares here. It doesn't up. He plays knight takes c3. There you go. Maybe d5 here. d5 stops the communication with the bishop and the knight. Oh, he plays f3 instead. And I think that's it. So James Canty wins that game, and Levy Rozman resigns there. So there we go. We are back in business. It is 2-2. Gonna fix our score here so we can keep you updated on what the score is, but it is 2-2. Both players have won with the white pieces. So this match is gonna go down to who can actually get any counterplay with black. All right, here we go. We already started the next game here. I want to start from the beginning here. Levy Rozman has white. This is a Trompowsky attack here. Look at that. C5, queen to b6. James has already has his line ready for this. Queen takes b2. Queen to b4, hitting the knight here. Look at that. Wait, what's happening here? Already, I don't like white as much as I should, I guess. The computer doesn't like white either. And an e5 was played here. And this is our position right now. James Canty has 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And Levy Rozman is in the think tank again after playing the Trompowsky here. Who will be the first one to crack with black? I know, John. Canty definitely, you know, there was some games here closely. I don't know. The first one maybe as well, but yes. Opening and middle game is definitely James Canty's that's where he's good at. He's very good in tactics. He has grandmaster tactics for sure. No doubt about that. Okay, as we're going to update the score here. And knight f3 was played here as James is thinking here. Now, James has to be careful to fall behind in development. Again, you don't want that to happen because bishop d3 is coming. Goes knight to d7. Bishop to d3 is not effective anymore because there's no bishop b5 check after queen takes d5. So he plays c4 here. This queen is running out of good squares. Okay, it is running out of squares. So I know he could go back to g6 now. Instead, he plays, now what's happening here? Because after bishop to d3, you're going to have queen to g4. So I guess he's safe there. But it's a lot of movement with the queen here. And for what price? James is up a pawn. As we see rook to c1. White is a couple moves away from complete development. Yeah, Levy is great under 5 seconds. I mean, you know, some of the moves he plays under 5 seconds, he probably should play in the beginning of the game. Because sometimes especially in Blitz chess, sometimes it's better to find a good move than the best move because time is of essence. So, you know, sometimes that B and C moves are the best moves because it just saves you time and it still puts a good move on the board. So Levy has to get used to doing that in this game against James Canty. And the pressure mounts on the higher rated player, guys. As we see the move a4, the plan is to kick the knight away from b6. Castle, James doesn't worry about that. He plays castle here. I'm still looking at this move, bishop to d3. Hopefully I'm not worrying about that, but bishop d3 looks like a decent move there. Develop with some tempo. He can also play a5 and push the knight back to d7. He does play a5. The knight goes back to d7. And then it's possible that the b file could be a play for white with this b7 pawn. And now James, bishop on c8, gonna have trouble developing that bishop on c8 in the future. White has compensation for the pawn. Even though James is up this pawn here, it looks like he could probably defend himself. But white does have a little compensation for the pawn that's missing. Bishop d3. I'm just looking for the move bishop d3 by Levy Rozman. The thing is, Levy Rozman, bishop d3 is just a decent move. And instead he plays h5. So he's trying to trap the queen somehow. Now after bishop d3, the queen can only go to g6. Maybe there is a trapped queen there. I'm not sure about that. So James Canty is looking around to see if he could free his queen if h5. So he actually goes queen h7 all the way back here. I don't know if that was actually necessary, but if bishop d3 shows up now, I guess the move e4 comes. As we see bishop to h4, and looks like he's going to trade off his bad bishop just to be able to bring the knight to h4, or maybe even the rook to h4. But looks like he's bringing the knight to h4. He wants to have that knight there to control the g6 square, so that way f5 would weaken the g6 square, and then white could take advantage of that square by placing a knight there on g6. So there's f5. And that's what white was looking at, the g6 square now. And then if you place that knight on g6, the queen is just locked in there on h7. But I know James would probably immediately play knight f8 or rook f7, knight f8 to remove that knight from g6. All right, so we see the bishop e2 move. Looks like white might be looking for a kingside attack. You see the move rook to f7 because he wants to play knight to f8 in case there's any knight going to g6. James does want to develop the bishop on c8 somehow. White is just up in development here. As we see the move rook g8. So white chooses not to castle and just proceeds with a kingside attack. His plan is to play g4 and open up the g file here. And so James has 1 minute and 12 seconds to now James is the one who is lower in time actually now, as Levy Rozman is speeding up things here. Now f4 was played, but why can't we just take that on f4 and try to attack down the e file now? I think we can take on f4, and here James does take on f4 and plays immediately g5 here. Doesn't wait for g4, plays g5 himself. And Levy Rozman, man, that knight is on the rim here. If he takes en passant, we get to take back with our knight. And now why is that rook on g1? If that rook is not going to be able to, if you're not going to be able to play g4 with effect, then why is the rook on g1? And so I like James' plan here. Can we not just play g4 here and shut that down forever? I thought g4 was a better move. I thought g4 was a better move here. I thought g4 was a better move here. He does play queen g7. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, I guess g4 does help. It makes the knight. It actually helps the knight go back to h4. So that's why he didn't play. 48 seconds for James Canty. 55 seconds for. Oops. Let's go up here. I'm sorry. 34 seconds for Levy Rozman. 32 seconds for Levy Rozman. James is at 38 seconds. Here's a time scramble here. He goes knight to f6, threatening the h5 pawn. He goes into e4 here. And if you take that, there's going to be a pin on the f file where the king is on f1. Levy Rozman is thinking here. 18 seconds left. He just can't take that knight. But he doesn't have nowhere to put his king. So what does he do? Queen c2. So he goes queen to e1. There's a knight to g3 move with a f4 push. That is possible. Knight to g3 check. Instead, he goes queen to h7. The knight goes to, king to g1. Instantly. 7 seconds left for Levy Rozman. Queen h6. 4 seconds left. 5 seconds left for Levy Rozman here. Oh, he takes there. Oh, look at the pin here. Whoa. 4 seconds left for Levy Rozman. Wait, what's happening here? 3 seconds left. 12 seconds. James has it's 2 rooks. It's going really fast. 3 seconds left for Levy Rozman here. We're sitting here. It's a pass pawn James has on the e-file here. And this just looks winning for, this is winning for black. This is winning for black, guys. This is winning for black. Black is up 1,000 pawns here. But those pawns are fractured. Those pawns are fractured. He needs the help of his king. You're going to see rook a1 coming. Oh, wait a minute. What happened here? The king gets to enter. Rook to d2 is the threat. He stops rook d2. Here comes rook d2 now. Trade of rooks is going to commence soon. Wow. But now both players have enough time to finish the game here. As we see king d2. James could play rook c. Nope. C3 probably. C3. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He has to watch. Uh-oh. Rook b1 is the threat. Rook. Oh, is that stalemate? No! It's stalemate. Oh, man. James had it there. But it's okay. It's a stalemate. So that's the first draw of the match by James Canty and Levy Rozman. James Canty drew his black game. At least we can score with black instead of losing. And in the next round, James will have the white pieces. Wow. That was pretty big. Let's go to the next game here. Because they have already started the next game. Let's see here. All right. And this is a center counter that's playing by Lev Rozman. A lot of times the center counter can end up in Carol-Con structures, so it makes sense for him to play the center counter. As we see how the game started. All right, bishop to d6 was played by Levy Rozman here. Now this is more of a solid position for both sides here. We know that James Canty with a space advantage, because I think that he should play c4 here for sure. There's c4. James Canty with a space advantage with white is a very, very, very strong when he has a space advantage. I don't know. He plays h3 here. I thought maybe c5, but he didn't want to weaken up the d5 square. But c5 had some pretty decent options actually. Oh, I see. The threat was bishop takes h2. Sorry. So after castle, when you have a space advantage, you normally want to make sure those pawns are guarded really well. They cover so many squares that are so important. Black is looking for pawn breaks, so he has a pawn break on e5, pawn break on c5. Knight c6 takes away that pawn break, so black is putting all his eggs in the basket of e5 as the pawn break to break down the spatial advantage there with d4 and c4. So e5 could be coming. James does play c5 now that he has the knight on c3 covering d5. He's not worried about the weakness of d5 right now. As we see, bishop to f4, targeting the c7 pawn. Great development with tempo. Knight d5 was played there. Now, if we play knight takes d5, maybe the move queen takes d5 will be coming. So James is thinking about that. He has a 30-second advantage in time. Levy Rozman does a really good job of time scramble when he's down in time. As we see bishop to h2. Keeping the pieces on the board, James. That's what you want to do when you have a spatial advantage. Bishop f6 puts more pressure on the d4 pawn. We're probably going to be looking at rook a to d1 or rook f to d1. So he does go rook a to d1. Just strengthening the d4 square. Still there's a threat of knight takes d5 and bishop takes c7. Can he do that now? No, he goes knight e4. He stays away from just taking that pawn and just keeps the pieces on the board. With this knight e4 move, look at the strong space advantage he has with d4 and c5. You just can't, white just has to be for choice here. Now there's a knight takes f6 and a bishop takes c7 tempo here. I don't know. I might take that there. He, after rook f to e8, he still doesn't want to trade that. Now here I would play something like rook to d3. So that I can get my other rook into the game as well, my rook on f. Strengthening my center. This is a solid position for white. Not saying black is not okay. Black has the control over the d5 square. Both rooks for black is decent. The bishop on f6 is okay. So there's nothing wrong with black's position. Shout out to everybody that's joining us here at YouTube, Facebook, and also Twitch. I am the coach, Brian Wilson, Killer B as well. And this is the James Canty versus National Master James Canty versus International Master Levy Rozman. We represented the D, Mumford, Tech, James Canty. Well, you know we in the house here representing my homeboy James as he plays Levy Rozman, who's from, I don't know where Levy's from. He's not from Detroit, so it don't matter to us. As James finds, he plays rook d3. He is putting the smackdown when it comes to a spatial advantage. Keeping the pieces on the board. He is squeezing his opponent with that space, waiting till the right moment. Wait till his opponent makes a mistake. Space is like quicksand. The more you neuter the space, the worse it gets for your opponent. Your opponent tries to struggle out of it. If he can't find the correct pawn breaks, then he's just going to get squoze. Like a constricting boa constrictor. So I love what he's doing. Rook e to d1 should be coming next, solidifying that space advantage. There is a backwards d pawn, and of course black does have compensation with the strong knight on d5, but I would rather be white here. I know, John. You said Canty is hurting inside with that last game. And that's okay. That's okay. He got a draw with Black. Black was losing every round. Now he has White. He has this nice squeeze position here. Now, James is not. Now, this is a different type of James here who's playing this squeezing position with space, being patient, keeping the pieces on the board, waiting for his right time to pounce. And that just shows how. Now he pounced. James plays G4. James plays G4 here. And he's gonna try to. Oh, he goes knight takes. So he does go for the damaging of the pawn structure there on F6. Now, I thought maybe he could have played rook e to D1, improve his position a little bit more, keep squeezing until you see something really juicy. But instead, he decided to leap right away and basically he doubled the pawns, but I don't see a plan of attack. It looks like it's going to be better for White or Black more so than it will be for White. The opening of the G file could be a problem here because you have H5 pawn break now, F5 pawn break. Those pawn breaks didn't exist before James played G4. Now they do exist. F5 and H5 pawn breaks, open G file. So there is some good play for Black now. The knight is on D5 unopposed. I must say that I don't think that was the best move for James in that position. But then again, it is messy, and anytime it's messy, James is okay in a messy position because a tactic can come out of anywhere, and James is the best at tactics. So queen to G6. See the move knight to F3. Looks like maybe he is aiming to play the move. Okay, we see a repeating of the position here. James Canty is actually the lower in time here with 41 seconds. Levy Rozman has 1 minute and 15 seconds. That has been an unusual thing happening in this so far in this tournament. Levy Rozman can play F5 right now. Right? No, F5. Computer says F5 was better right then. F5 would have been the toughest pawn break there. As you see, Levy Rozman is trying to get control over the F4 square. I wonder if he's going to play E5 now. Levy Rozman, 51 seconds. Maybe E5 if he wanted to get control over the F4 square. Got knight to H4. That's possible. H5 or F5. F5 is still possible, isn't it? F5 is still possible. F5 is still possible. Shout out to everybody that has joined us in this chat. What's up, 100 Pixel? Hi. Shout out to 100 Pixel in the chat. This is a live match between National Master James Canty and International Master Levy Rozman. Levy Rozman is 18 seconds left. Oh no. Now I do like James' position. Look at this knight F5 move here for James. Levy does get knight F4 in. He's thinking about going knight takes H3. That looks like a mistake after knight F5. Knight F5 now. Right? Knight F5 now should be the move. He goes knight H5 here. Makes a lot of sense. Levy Rozman has 2 seconds here. James has 14 seconds here. Queen F5. Oh, what about F takes? F takes G3. James has 12 seconds here. There's a check. Oh, no, there's a check there. Wow. What happened here? Levy Rozman now has 3 seconds here. There's a exchange. He's exchange up. He is exchange up here. Whoa. 11 seconds for James. This is a king and pawn endgame here, and this is not good. This is losing here for James. James is losing this king and pawn endgame, and Levy has the increment to complete this this game here. He has to watch out for sacrifices. Did the sacrifice? No, sacrifice is not fast enough. Sacrifice is not fast enough, and James loses this game. Oh man. James loses this game here, so we're gonna have to update this score. Sorry, I didn't have it updated for you. Yes, 100 Pixels streaming on YouTube too. That's right. All right, let's see. And we're just going to update the score. So it's 3.5 to 2.5 now. Levy Rozman is in the lead. International Master Levy Rozman. And I think they are taking a break, I believe. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Nope, they're not taking a break. It's on and popping. It's on and popping again. And we are in another Trumpowski here where the last game, James had a advantage here in this Trumpowski. As you see, F3, G4. James Canty had an advantage in the Trumpowski the last time, but it was a draw. He goes back to the same line here. As James is thinking right now. Much better development for James than it was last time. It looked like the queen could be trapped there. You see the expanding pawn chain by white. E4 is played. Ooh, ouch. That will win a pawn here. And James is down a pawn. He's going to try to. His compensation is going. He's going to use his development. As Levy Rozman is looking for a plan of attack here, we see Rook C1. If you kingside castle, the G5 move looks dangerous. So I don't think kingside castle is a good move at all for black. Can't do that. This is not a good position for black here. This is not a good position here for black here. The E4 move that black played, that looked like that might have been a blunder there. So James is going to have to really figure stuff out here in this position for sure. This is a position where we would be happy to get a draw in this position here and get back to the white pieces. Because James had a pretty decent, solid advantage the last time with white. Just kind of complicated things, and then things got wild at the end. And in time, trouble, and pressure, there was a blunder, and then that's how things happen. But this position, James does not want. James does not want this position here. And James is thinking here, and this shows you how difficult this position is, because James is usually quick on the clock, but here he's falling. He did play A6, which I think is one of the best moves you can play in a position like this. but he fell behind more than a minute in time here. And James is usually good on his time. Now, the only thing White has to worry about is king safety in a position like this, where I thought maybe he could play moves like king d2 or king f2. King safety is the only thing he has to worry about. But also, Levy tends to overthink in some positions and use a bunch of time on the clock that he doesn't really have to use. So right now, Levy is thinking here, and Levy plays the move a4. So Levy reminds me of a Karpov player that just kind of prevents Black's counterplay, tries to lock the position down and into the right moment to strike, and wait for the right moment to strike. And that's what White he's doing, is preventing the b5 push. Probably going to develop the bishop to c4 or to d3, making sure Black can't castle in that area. Just squeezing Black here. Just squeezing Black. Now, I'm sorry, before I said Black was down upon, that's not true. Black is not down upon, as we see b5 happen anyway. Wow. That is being very aggressive there. Sacrificing the b5 pawn. Yeah, I don't know about that. Wow. Sacrificing the b5 pawn for what? I mean, I don't know. Black's king is in the center. I don't see the participation of the bishop on e7. I just don't know why. I don't see the compensation for the sacrifice of the b5 pawn. Do you guys see the compensation? Let me know. Oh, so White did not take that b5 pawn, played knight h3 instead. And wow. So now it's a whole different story. We see knight e5 here. I think I would have stopped him from taking b5 by playing c4. And then my knight could go to c5. That was gonna be the move. Look at this, guys. c4 here. c4. Then the knight could get a home on c5. That's an outpost. And what an outpost that is. You know, you're threatening the tempo on the queen. The d3 square is weak. Now if the b5 pawn is taken, then the rook is open on the a file. Woo! c4 looked great, actually. But knight e5 was played here. And then knight f4. By the way, c4 still looks good. He castles here. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I don't know about that castle here. What happens? Okay, so I guess after g5, we can just play the move queen to f5. Okay, I was worried about g5 opening up the h file for the rook. But we would just play queen f5. We'll be okay. And, of course, I'm saying we because we are supporting our homeboy, James Canty. GM Canty from Detroit. As we see b takes a4, GM Canty is now, maybe he thinks he could actually neuter this passed pawn. That's possible. Bishop d7, that passed pawn is a passed pawn. It doesn't matter if it's doubled or not. That passed pawn is a passed pawn, and it must be tended to. So he can simply take this move, pawn. Queen takes a4. He does take it. And then bishop to d7 is played here. Pretty soon, it's going to be a big factor that White's king is in the center here. If White is not going to start any type of a kingside attack, then what is White doing? So White's king could be in some big trouble if he doesn't start doing anything. How about bishop b5 now? Oh, rook to b8 makes some sense too. So both those rooks are very strong there. g5 is played here, but remember, we didn't have to take there. Or actually, what's happening is, oh, he's going to take first and then play queen f5. Good. James has 36 seconds, and there's 47 seconds for Levy Rozman. Uh-oh. And there's a trade here. E4 is played, but another time scramble. Bishop to d7. Probably rook a1, attacking a6. That looks weak. I would say rook a1 here. Levy has gone under 20 seconds. Well, he's really spending a lot of time on this move. Rook a1 simply attacks the a6 pawn. 9 seconds. He goes knight to h5 here. How about bishop d3? Okay, bishop g5? Whoa. Oh, man, f4, bishop h6. The f4 pawn is pinned. Rook d1. Knight to g4. Threatening knight e3. Knight e3 is there. That's a fork. Hit the rook. Levy Rozman has 1 second left. He's been doing great with 1 second on his clock, by the way. Look at the passed pawn. Now, that passed pawn is going to be a problem. That passed pawn is going to be an issue. Bishop takes c4. Look at he pushing the passed pawn. 2 seconds left. Passed pawn is... He queens there. James has a queen. 12 seconds. Levy Rozman is playing great with only 2 seconds left. It's crazy how he can do this. Wow. Queen takes e1 is checkmate, isn't it? Okay. No, okay. He resigns. Wow. This guy defends positions. But black wins this game. A game that I think the opening didn't go James' way. But he was able to find tactics in time pressure. And that's where your tactics shine. When James and Levy are both in time pressure, I trust James to find those tactics more than anyone that I know. And so that's what happens here. So we have to adjust the score. Because our boy James has won this round here. That's right, 100. I know, John. That stalemate was a hard result, John. Coach Galvin in the house. Stalemate did hurt him there, but we came back. So let's adjust this score here. And we are now tied at 3.5. And they might be taking a break. I believe so. We are brought to you here by Wonderful Clothing Line. Wonderful Clothing Line. You can check out this clothing line, black owned, by a 18-year-old University of Michigan fashion and design student. You can check out this clothing line and purchase clothing from bcwarts.com, bcwarts.com. Also, all of our future chess tournaments for the children, you can find that at michiganjuniorchessarena.com. That's for everyone around the nation. If you know a chess playing kid, have them register for our tournament on Sundays, 12 p.m. Eastern. Lasts about 3 hours, 15 minutes a game, and it's United States Chess Federation rated tournament. And for just $15, your kid can enter into this tournament. Trophies are also available as prizes, and those trophies are going to be mailed to your home. Really nice trophies, customized with their name on it. Kids love it. We also have an open tournament on Martin Luther King Day. With special guest speakers, surprise guest speakers on our Zoom call before the tournament. If you want to participate in that, hit us up at MichiganJuniorChessArena.com for our special Martin Luther King chess tournament. On that day, we got a special guest speaker that's going to speak to the kids or to all the players on Martin Luther King Day. Let's celebrate Martin Luther King Day, how chess players celebrate Martin Luther King Day, by playing the game. Oh, Tanoosh. Oh, I didn't know that was you, Tanoosh. Tanoosh, shout out to Tanoosh. Implodian in the house. Tanoosh played in our World Junior Online tournament for the first time, I believe, Tanoosh. Last time, right? I think that was your first time playing. Mert Turner says, you think Levy is a better player? Well, the rating would say that. The title would say that, but this is a whole different format. This is speed chess. Mistakes get punished in speed chess. Whoever's the fastest at picking up tactics, we'll see that. But right now, it's even. I believe James Canty is just as strong as an international master, especially in this format. And I'm definitely rooting for James. I know, John, he pulled that game out. He pulled that game out for us. So that was a good result for James there to even the score. The toughness you got to show when you're down to 8 seconds left. Now all that puzzle rush that you do online matters because you got to be able to pick up those tactics immediately. And Canty, yes, John, Canty does get white. Canty does get white for the next round. All right, they're taking a break. I'm going to take a small break and be right back after these messages. I don't have a commercial, but just we're thinking forward for more sponsors. We have one, but we want more. But I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. And they have started their second game. I'm going to rewind this game here. Let's go back and see what happened here. James Canty has white. He plays e4. This is a center counter or Scandinavian defense here. We've been in this position before. He plays c5 here immediately. Gets the same position, and then he takes the pawn on c7. That was what I was wondering before, if he could take that pawn and get away with it. Looks like he thinks he can. Look at the control over the d5 square. So the compensation for the pawn is the control over the d5 square and the backward pawn that's on d4. This is nothing's wrong with this position for white. White has to be better in this position. What do you guys think? Let me know. Shout out to our sponsor, Wonderful. Get your clothing line, wonderful clothing line at bcwarts.com. We are looking at live National Master James Canty versus International Master Levy Rozman. The match. Their match in the I'm Not a GM tournament for a big prize. And the match is set up 75 minutes to play 5-minute games with 1 second increment. Another 45 minutes to play 3-minute games with 1 second increment. And another 25 minutes total. And you can play as many 1 minute and 1 second increment games you can get in that time frame. So that's how this is going today. Where there was mass trades here. Levy Rozman down a minute, so they're both down around the same time. What happened here? James has 2 pieces for the rook. So that's a significant advantage here for James. James is winning this game here. Levy Rozman is falling behind a minute again. Again, he's in time trouble. But this time he's in time trouble, but he's in actual trouble on the board. 95. What does that do? 95 threatens. Wait a minute. 95 just threatens queen takes f7 check. He can go queen takes d5 now, but 95 looks like it's over after 95. I like how James took his time to make sure 95 was the move, but 95 looks pretty finalizing there. Queen takes f7 check. Oh, what now? Could you play knight to d7? No. He could have played queen to d7. He's threatening knight f7 check here. Go back to, I don't know, he could have played queen to d7. He probably should go back to f7 here. He does. And he's going to have to figure out how to win this position now. He goes queen f5. Wow. Levy Rozman is in some big trouble here. This is big trouble. Rook f8 was played here. I wonder if he could play, knight f7 check. Knight f7. You can't take the knight because of queen takes c8 check. And that'd be mate in 2. So knight f7, king g8, and queen e6 should be the move. So knight f7, king g8, queen e6. Because if rook takes, there it goes. This should be winning. Should be winning here. James Canty is thinking here. Knight takes. So James has 2 pieces for. the rook here. Levy Levy is great under time pressure. He is wonderful under time pressure. Wonderful under time pressure. Gonna see rook c7. Oh, wow. Bishop takes g7, check. Levy Rozman has a second. There's a check here. King to g3. Uh-oh, you got to watch out for... Oh, you had to watch out for that. Knight to g3. Uh-oh. King to g6. Levy Rozman has 2 seconds left. Oh. He just loses his rook here. Now this is just an easy win for Levy Rozman. I mean, for James Canty, we win. We win that. Excellent. And we have to adjust the score, guys. James is taking his first lead. We are not biased here in this stream at all. I am rooting for Detroit's very own James Canty. John, you say if Levy has Gotham Chess, is that his username on chess.com? What can a Detroit IM name Detroit Chess? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know. And I'm assuming you're saying the username, right? Because I know James Canty's name is GM Canty on chess.com. Probably every platform, actually. As we update the score here. They have already started their next game, so let's go ahead and get to that game. Okay, so this is James Canty has white here. I'm sorry, black here. But we see another Trumpowski, and it seems like Levy Rozman continues to go into this line, having faith that he is okay in this line here. But James Canty is not worried about it. He had a bad position the last one, but uh-oh. D6 here. Maybe bishop f6 in this position. Looks like a good move, hitting the rook on a1. No, he goes bishop to d8. Oh, there was a trapped, maybe that was a trapped queen situation. Oh, it was. Wow. So after bishop c4, don't know if you can castle here. Yeah, he has to really watch it. Knight b4 threatening knight c2 check. You have to watch that. So Levy Rozman has to think about this move here. What should he do? Rook c1 is played. Wow. All right, James Canty has 1 minute and 30 seconds to Levy Rozman 1 minute and 50 seconds here in this position. We see bishop a5. This simply threatening a discovery. King f2. His king is probably safer on f2 anyway. You see this pawn on d6. It really hurts the bishop on c8. Queen f6 is played here. Threatening queen b2 check. He goes knight e2, stopping queen b2. Then the move a6 is played here, so that he can play b5. There's g5 here. If we take, what happens? He can take here. Then there will be bishop takes g5 more than likely, and then placing the bishop. No, actually, wait a minute, because Yep, that's what it would be. So he goes queen f5. Wonder what would happen after a3 here. So a3 is a move for white. I will say, guys, the engine thinks white is dominating in this game, by the way. Says white is dominating in this game big time. Because really, you look at James's queen in this position. It's just not, it's not good. Bishop takes f7 check. Because the king takes, it'll be g6. He doesn't take that. G6 would have been terrible. G6 is terrible, and this is a crushing game here. Levy gets the point back immediately in a miniature game again with using a Trompowsky attack, and that James is really going to have to fix that as we adjust the score. That opening did not go good for James Canty at all. At all. So he's going to have to make some adjustments. Maybe knight a6 is not the move. Of course, you don't have time in between games to look at this until there's a break. And I don't know, there might be a break now. I don't know how often they take breaks, but nope, there's another game right away. So Canty has white, and now we have a French defense here. Looks like Levy does a lot of anti-space defenses, semi-open positions with the Carol Khan in the French. And I already like white's position. Look at the space advantage that white has with the d4 pawn. Good control over the c5 square, stopping that pawn break with queen e3, stopping c5. Because you know when you're going to get the space advantage, you're going to need pawn breaks. King is in the center here. There's double pawns for black, but black has the bishop pair to use as compensation for the double pawns. The open G file is what black has as well. As you see, bishop to e2. Just developing the pieces. White, I think, is still a little better here. But black definitely has counterplay. The G8, the G file is counterplay for black, and the bishop pair. As you see, white is trying to trade off one of those bishops. When you're going against the bishop pair and you think the position can be opened up, it's a good idea to trade off one of your minor pieces for one of those bishops. It'll make it a more manageable situation to have just a bishop versus a knight than two knights versus two bishops. James, both players have about the same time. See rook e1. James is just strengthening his center position, putting the rook and the queen on the same file as the king here. I really like white here. Black is going to have to find a way to improve black's position. But white is just using what he has. He has this nice space advantage. Nice space advantage on the board. Knight to b6 is played. Looking to play knight c4 to improve the knight. Makes a lot of sense for black. I will say the computer likes knight d2. Now see here, this is where I think that the hold method is better here for James, but just not in James' character. He just wants to, he has to go for it. And I mean, sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. Of course, it's been doing well for him up to this point. But the knight coming to c4, all these attackers, see, there is so many attackers on this king side that placing a knight on the other side of the board could be hazardous. Could be. So now you see knight appears on d5, queen goes to c1. There is bishop takes e1 already. So that gives up a exchange. So black is just better here. So James is going to have to fight back in this game. You don't want to go lose 2 games in a row because mentally that could hurt. But Levy tends to use a lot of time. Now we know he makes good moves in time pressure, but he's also lost many games in time pressures already. So it's no matter how good you are in time pressure, eventually you will make a mistake, and you do not want to continue to stay in there. He sacrifices here. So we have H6 is played here, and that might have been the best move there. Wow, Queen D5 is the knockout blow. He missed it. Queen D5, and James sees it and stops it once and for all. Wow, wow. He sees it and stops it here. And now all of a sudden, White is okay in this position. All of a sudden, White is winning here. I don't know what happens with Queen to. Okay, so I thought Queen takes A3 would have been good. Now, he could just play Queen. What's happening here? What about Queen takes A1? Am I? Oh, the Queen was pinned. Okay. James has a minute. Levy has 2 seconds again. He is down in time again. He had a completely winning opening here. He's down in material, down in time. It looks like it's all about the time here for Levy Rozman. 2 seconds. Now he has 3 seconds here. James plays G3. Rook. We can play the move F3. Where are you going here? Rook to D1. James is looking to push a pass pawn. Push! So James is looking to push these pass pawns here. There. Uh-oh. You gotta watch it, though. Okay. Oh, no. What did James do here? Oh, he allows... What's happening here? Okay, so there you go. So there's a win for James here. Wow. Wow, what a game there by James Canty there. Winning that game. And James is going up in score. So let's change this here. So James is up 5.5 here. He has 5.5 to Rozman's 4.5. James came back in that game, and that game was not good for him. Queen D5 looks like it was checkmate. James seen it. Rozman did not see that tactic. So James is now up a point. And yeah, John, I'm sorry. I actually have a class at 3 o'clock too. Score is accurate now. I have a class at 3 o'clock as well. So I'm going to have to get actually stop the stream. Sorry, guys. I know you guys were watching it. Please go to for the stream. You can go to chess.com stream of this match. Just type in chess.com on YouTube. They have a stream as well. You can also go to Checkmate Double stream as well. Type in Checkmate Double in YouTube. They have a live stream of this match as well. I got to get to the youngsters. I just wanted to stream the beginning of this match just to support James Canty. Remember, check out Wonderful Clothing Line. That's bcwarts.com, bcwarts.com. Check out that clothing line. That stuff is lit. It's on fire. So please check that out. And also, all the tournaments that we are giving at MichiganJuniorChessArena.com every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time to around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the children. They get trophies you get trophies for prizes. The entry fee is $15. Check that out right there. And for shout out to everybody that logged on and shared and subscribed to this channel. I really appreciate you. I am Coach Wilson, representing the Implodians. Implodian out.